because we are preparing the teachers for future. And are we really preparing them for the challenge they are expected to face in near future? We have to think over it, and we have to think over it seriously. And I believe in we have our panelists. I will request my panelists to please take 8 to 10 minutes so that we will spare some time for discussion and taking some questions. Because we see reading a question, reading a research paper, we have many research papers, but at the end we do not find so much good experts which may really be a learning for the participants and for the resource persons as well. Because otherwise we will be wasting our time and energy and resources. So how we can prepare the future teacher who will be relevant in the society in a system? We see we don't have now capacity to hold the students in the classroom. I don't think, I can be wrong, can be corrected, not necessarily that. Less number of attendance, less amount of attendance, or less number of students in the class lies on the onus of the teacher. That we are not able to, we teachers are not able to captivate them. Yes, the focal point is the teacher. We must have the content which the students will get from the classroom. If that is available on the online and at his home easily, while sitting in the kitchen or sitting in the bedroom, she can get it. Why should come? She spend some money and come to the classroom, or he. So we have to develop our content. It should be rich content, and the delivery system. Of course, the pedagogy is to be reformed. Institute Central University of Kashmir, being the director of IASE, I don't think we are changing ourselves in the classroom. Things cannot be better for us. We see NEP 2020 has said that there should be a national educational technology forum which will be coming up. I believe the planners and stakeholders are working at very fast pace for implementing this NEP 2020. There are the nitty-gritties of this 360-degree evaluation pattern. This is, of course, utilized in certain private companies where they evaluate their employees. But can we evaluate our students on 360 pattern, and what impact it will be having on our
questions, so that you have an agenda prepared for the Union Territory of J&K to be floated as part of the lead points taken up not only for discussion but implementation of the integration of technology at the grassroots level. Another insightful experience which I had was through a very exciting research project which we did with IIT Jammu, which was during the pandemic and the post-pandemic. So there were a lot of people from the Valley and of course from Leh working in this project. So the results of this project are very fascinating, exciting, interesting. We had a gathering, an event in IIT Jammu in the first week of February to discuss these, and the lead points were: dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is not just about the mobiles, the expensive technologies that we are looking at, the smart boards, etc., etc. They are there, but technology is basically a technique that we are looking at with what is happening nationally and globally. I think if you give me an opportunity, I would want to do that by making use of simple things which we were using when we were students of the teacher education programs. That is the flashcards, the charts, the models, the field visits, interactions, and let these interactions be captured for discussion. Even now, yesterday, Monday mornings, I have a class, and this is on skills in teaching. I
have this. You have to understand that the teachers have to change. The change will not come from the top up. It has come from the top to bottom. Rephrase the entire academic setup. Teachers decide the curriculum, not the students. Board of Studies, academic schools decide what they are going to teach the students. Then the teachers teach the students. The forced classroom learning, forced attendance are gone by days. If you do not evolve to the point where the student-teacher partnership exists in the classrooms, you may not have the student footfall in the classrooms in the first place. The idea of skill that national education policy enforces or puts on our classrooms and universities is far important than how we prepare the skill in the student.
The teachers find the outcomes as significant, concern how they address using different aspects of teaching learning, including the technology integration. Now when we come to some of the aspects of teacher education in general, that we can find out that to what extent we are practical oriented. So we have lots of discussions, like we have discussed something about blended learning, we have discussed something about flipping, all the advanced methods, techniques that we are quite familiar about the techniques. You can write in essays and all, but what about the practical implications and to what extent the teacher educators and teachers can implement it in the real classroom? That is still a question, because I don't know how many of us can implement a blended learning session. If it's a rotational blended learning or whatever kind of the flipping, to what extent we can write a lesson plan on that? To what extent we can integrate in the classroom?
Technology. The impact we have seen, right, when we involve the technology in the classroom, and the impact is very amazing. All the students are coming to the classroom. Rarely any students are missing my class. Rarely. Majority of students are coming to join the classroom. I have seen just a few weeks back what I did. I initiated a small interactive thing on the using the digital tool. Then, in fact, I have seen during the lunch time, students sitting in the ground and just having the lunch in the winter time and doing the activity which I shared in the class. So means using these digital tools and technology not just in the classroom, out of the class also we can engage the student in the teaching learning activities.
To make it relevant, my talk relevant or my discussion relevant, I don't know how many students or participants in this group, just putting my finger on the generation types that we have. We have been naming generations as X generation, then Y generation, the millennials before them, and the Z, generation Z. Then we move to generation of and then beta starting this year, taking birth this year, generation beta. Dr. Moisov talked about digital mediums and digital mediums. Of course, this has always been a challenge as there has been a disruption in the technology. Disruptive technologies have taken shape. May I take you back in time and talk about
digital learning, education, and the new pedagogy that we are unraveling in the modern times is going to become. But rather, I want to start with a small story, which is a personal experience of me, and I think that will kind of give us also a glimpse of the challenges that we are facing in these times. So, I know this woman who is a housekeeper, help. She works in different houses, of course, and she has 2 children, a girl and a boy. Whenever I try to call this woman for, say, change of timing or something, or for a visit, she barely, receives the call. It's always her children who are picking up the call, either the son or the daughter. Mostly son actually receives the call. So one day I ended up asking her, like, what is with this? Why don't you just carry your phone with you? And why is your phone always with your children? So she tells me something which actually gave me a good reality check about the world around us, the real life issues that people have. And she tells me, I don't have many phones. It's just one phone. I use the same and my children use the same phone. If they have to study, if they have to use online resources or anything that they're assigned to make a PPT or something. And then I felt so bad and I said, okay, I have a spare phone, why don't you just take this spare phone, a smart phone I had, so just take it and give it to one of them, She tells, okay, I can take it, but then there's an issue of a data plan now, So data plan and recharging the phone, I can't have the money to recharge 2 phones in the house.